Peace, family. I'm just going to give my final assessment on the Sherrone Moore, former university head coach of Michigan, who was fired for having an indecent relationship with a female staffer. There's fault to be spread around to just about all parties, but the large burden of this has to fall on the shoulders of Sherrone Moore. You have to take accountability for your actions, for how you let down your family, how you disappointed your children, what role you played in giving this university the reason to let you go in the first place. You went out of your way to highlight what you were doing. You doubled this female worker's salary from $50,000 to almost $100,000 a year with no change in duty. The staff that you employ, the students that you recruited, yes, you have a lot to do with what you've done. And the fact that you were arrested for what you did, not just for the infidelity, but for breaking into this woman's house against her consent, because they charged Sherrone Moore with with entering without breaking in, which more than likely means that this man had a key to this woman's house, and in his irate state of mind, he entered it without her consent. Overwhelmed by the aspect of everything that's transpired to him all simultaneously, I think Sherrone Moore snapped. I think he couldn't. To let down your family, disappoint your children, your staff, the recruits, losing your job, your career, being the first black head coach in this school's 200-year history. It would take some time to assess just one of these incidents, but to do them all simultaneously, he couldn't do it. This is why when he broke into this woman's home, he actually put a butter knife to his throat, said that she ruined his life and he's going to end his and make her watch. Then you threaten her with the butter knife. You saw no redemption. And see, I've seen people come out of prison much older than 39 years of age and resurrect their life. But Sherrone Moore didn't see that. And one of the biggest burdens that I think we need to bear is the burden of black people. We have seen this scenario play out over and over again. Once we fall out of favor with whites, we risk leaving from their arms and sliding straight into poverty. There's over 40 million black people in this country, and we have failed to come together to build a private, independent network of businesses, industries, and institutions to provide the essential needs and services for our people, that when we do fall out of favor with whites, we don't have to plunge straight into poverty. We could either step over or step up to our own network of businesses so we can hire and promote and give our people hope, and don't leave them anguishing, wondering what can they do. Sherrone Moore is a highly educated man. He's highly accomplished. And because of this incident, he was willing to unalive his own self with the butter knife. But like I said in my initial video, the Bible tells the righteous man not to linger in temptation. He tells the righteous man to flee from it. You have got to be aggressive when you get away from these things, because the Bible knows that it's just a matter of time before you succumb to your desires. Sherrone Moore is a highly educated, highly accomplished black man in the University of Michigan with a campus full of white women. And he was married to a white woman. And I believe if you could look through the eyes of white women, the same way science has now given us the ability to look through the eyes of a hawk, to look through the eyes of a lion, to see how they look upon their prey, white women, I would believe you would see that they can see the vulnerability in blacks. They can see their areas of weakness. And they can plot and plan how to exploit it. I don't care what their history is. You could take the Tiger Woods. You could take the O.J. Simpsons. You could take the Shannon Sharps. All of them. White women are basically undefeated in this scenario. And despite that, black people, for some reason, we still have a vulnerability to this. And I believe white women can see this. They can detect it. And Sherrone Moore, once you become elevated from a assistant head coach to now a head coach, with your salary plastered all over the Ann Arbor newspaper, all over the world, you couldn't help but radiate yourself in that environment. And this woman, she knew what she was doing. She knew Sherrone Moore was married. And they don't care. But they're not going to focus on that. They're going to focus on what Sherrone Moore's shortcomings is. And like I say, it falls upon the vulnerability of our people. I said in my initial video, the Bible gives us specific instructions on how to avoid scenarios like this. And if the Bible is telling us that we should do what we don't see ourselves capable of doing right now, this is an agenda. This is a goal for our people. And for the people who say they are leaders of black people. If the Bible says for you to remove yourself from temptation, to flee from it, and you're too weak, your leaders should be providing you this motivation. If the Bible tells you not to marry and to marry with other nations, your leaders should be promoting this. If the Bible said that you cannot enter into a contract with these people, and we see ourselves entering contracts with these people, we have to equip ourselves so we can go and fulfill God. Because God is not going to put anything on us that we can't bear. And because we can't do it now, that don't mean we forsake what God said. We have got to be about the business of strengthening our people, our community, so we can fulfill God's intentions. And I'm not no big Bible thumper. But the fact of the matter is we cannot stay in this system the way we are right now, susceptible to the whims of being accepted into white environment, being dismissed when we're no longer needed, and then having our people sit up here with no hope of redemption if they fall out of favor with whites. We hunger, we feed, we thirst, we desire, we want. We build no businesses, no industries to provide jobs for our people, a stable economic flow for our people, a lower affordable cost of living for our people, so that we can hire and promote our own, prioritize our own. So this shortcoming that Sherrone Moore felt upon, it's coming upon us all as black people. We should be able to embrace the Sherrone Moores in our own community. And once Sherrone Moore see successful black people living in an environment where they have ownership and control over their existence, self-determination over their community, and see black people prospering in it, that could have been the remedy to his addiction to whites. Seeing functioning black people the way God intended us to be could have been the cure for this affliction. You know, I didn't mean for this video to go this long, but as always, I'm gonna end this video here. These are my thoughts, my opinions. I invite you to leave yours in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video. Ashe.